What's up, everyone, and welcome to episode 46 of Battle Talk, a Blizzard talking show podcast thing. I'm your host, Mike, and I talk good. Joining me are the usual faces of Dom.
What's going on?
I did not do my pre-show ritual of the Human Torch was denied a bank loan, and it has unfortunately cursed me to a case of the tongue twisties.
I mean, that would do it. That would do it. See, my tongue is currently a little on fire at the moment. I decided to go to Wendy's for dinner tonight.
Oh, did you have the ghost pepper sandwich?
I did.
How was it?
I did. It surprisingly was not as hot as one would expect. The mango habanero Buffalo Wild Wings is much hotter than it, but it's enough to leave a little tingle.
Enough to leave a tingle. All right. And the other now usual face, has become a usual face, is this guy.
I just keep showing up places.
This guy John here.
Hi.
Hi.
I didn't have that ghost pepper gross sandwich.
You did not have that ghost pepper gross sandwich.
It was not gross. It was far from gross.
It's fast food. It's default gross.
But it's
That's how it
Wendy's
works.
chicken. Wendy's chicken is not bad.
Wendy's chicken really isn't bad.
I mean, at least it's actual meat.
Yes, this is true.
There is that. And now that we have covered something that is completely not Blizzard related, let us...
I mean,
You mean stay on
gamers gotta
topic?
eat.
I don't know.
You know what? You're right. Gamers gotta eat. That's true. Anyway, this last weekend was the grand finals of a small little tournament thing. You may have heard of it, called Heroes of the Dorm.
Small little.
It's a wee
Tiny.
bit. It was a college tournament for Heroes of the Storm, wherein teams could win, potentially, free college tuition. Or other fun prizes. I believe the top 4 walked away with some pretty kick-ass gaming PCs. So,
Yeah.
that's nice.
Yeah.
But, yeah, the show was broadcast on ESPN. I believe it was ESPN 2.
Yeah.
And this has sparked a wee bit of controversy. Now,
Just a tiny bit. You know, it's because the tournament was so small. It was...
right, just a tiny bit, wee bit. So, esports. The controversy triggered were normal, average, non-gamer people tuning into ESPN2, and suddenly there's a video game on their sports channels.
Not in my America.
So, yeah, apparently people are upset that a video game is being broadcast on a television channel.
Not only just a television channel, it's like big sports network.
Right, it's a big sports network, exactly. Sure, it's not their main channel, but, I mean, ESPN2 is pretty damn good.
Yeah.
Now, some people are pissed off, like, oh my god, it's time to stop calling these esports a sport. Like, apparently sports, in order to be a actual sport, it must be some athletic activity.
Is anyone making that argument?
A few people are. I've seen that argument made for a while now.
I mean, this has been going on since before gaming too. Like probably the big debate sport that I could think of right now, besides gaming, was cheerleading. Like there was a big debate on whether cheerleading was considered a sport, and they have competitions, and it's just as much of a sport as anything else.
Right, and Savannah in chat posts that poker and darts are called sports.
Yeah.
No, they're not. Well, they are called sports, but the participants are not called athletes.
Right, exactly.
I think that's the big deal.
Right.
The sports thing is, obviously they're both competitive, but I guess the argument here was like, are these players athletes or not? And I mean,
Right.
But I don't think. See, this is the problem I have with this whole controversy. No one was making the argument that any of these players were athletes. No one fucking said that. Like,
No.
I think this article came out that was like making this straw man argument. That's not. No one was saying that. No one was trying to compare these people to athletes, because clearly they're not. I mean, even race car drivers, they're not called athletes. They're just called drivers. They're
Right.
not, like a poker player is not called an athlete. They're just a poker player. I mean, I don't think it's a big deal. I mean, the thing that really matters is like when these people are trying to get visas to travel to other countries. They would normally, no, most athletes would just get an athlete's visa, but these esports competitors have to apply for an athlete's visa, and like
Ooh.
so their eligibility for that is a little in question. And I think that's like the biggest deal to come out of this. But I don't think any esports people are clamoring to be called athletes anytime soon.
No, exactly. And I mean, the show did pretty damn good on
Oh God,
ESPN.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, raked in a hell of a lot of views,
It did
and
great.
it did great. Yeah, and I'm trying to remember the quote I read. I read a huge article about this. Like the CEO or the director or whoever of ESPN doesn't exactly agree with esports being shown on his channel because they're not exactly traditional sports.
Yeah.
And then there was oh, I don't even remember the quote. So I'm not even going to go there. But
But
I
don't forget, this wasn't just like jocks and stuff that were outraged. Actually, gamers were outraged too, but for a completely different reason. And that was because this tournament was not broadcast live on Twitch. It was only on a cable network. So if you did not have cable television, which most young folks nowadays, we don't have cable. I have cable, but don't have cable. So they get Netflix and Hulu and different streaming services and don't have cable to watch ESPN. So they felt neglected.
right, I gotcha, and I can understand why because normally you would watch something like that on Twitch.
Twitch. Yeah, it's. I mean, it's really like a sign of the culture right now, especially the esports culture. Like it's meant to be very easily accessible, and you just click two buttons and you go get it.
Right.
I
People
mean,
like
then
cable is a failing thing right now. Like no one uses cable anymore. Everything's like HBO Go and or HBO whatever the hell the new HBO thing is, or they have Hulu or Netflix or
Netflix, yeah.
no one.
yeah. Well, a lot of cable services are also offering you can watch it on your phone. I have Comcast Xfinity. I could
Mhm.
watch it on my phone. Anything that I DVR at home, I could watch on my phone. So, anything that's on demand, anything like that, I could watch it all on my phone. So, cable's still it's catching up. It's not completely like archaic thing of the past, but a lot of people just prefer things like, Netflix and Hulu and stuff like that. And it's because the cost is much more efficient. And yeah, they may not catch everything that they want to catch right away, but a lot of people could wait till it comes on Netflix a season later and watch it all. But the thing with the esports here is, yeah, there were some streams on Twitch that were broadcasting it, but they were not doing so legally, and ESPN was getting them shut down, and it was like this battle, like they keep springing up, but then, they'd be taken down almost immediately.
Right.
So,
And I found that what I was talking about before. So the president of ESPN is more interested in real sports, as he put it. He said this last year that esports are a competition, not a sport, because checkers are a competition, chess is a competition, and they're in the same boat. And the other thing comes from an NYU professor, and basically says, in quote, how unexpected physical feats in games like basketball can carry a transcendent meaning for their viewers, and he argues that esports are similar enough to merit the same respect.
hmm
And I agree with that entirely.
Yeah,
Because, I
I
mean,
mean,
no matter
Arthas
how...
and Illidan, and they're virtual athletes.
Right, okay, no matter how good I will ever become at Heroes of the Storm, there are people who are far better and are going to do some astounding play that will fail 9 times out of 10, but they just saw the perfect opportunity to execute it, and it was just, like, mind-blowing.
hmm
So, that's the same effect as, a wide receiver catching a football on the itty-bitty tips of his fingers and making it a successful catch.
did you guys ever see the? I
Same
mean,
effect.
it's like one of those famous things from a fighting tournament ever, where it's like it was like Street Fighter Alpha 3, and it was Chun Li versus Ken, and Chun Li like did her ultimate, and the guy playing as Ken parried every single kick from her ultimate. Like and that's like a perfect block. You take no damage from that. Like
Wow,
that kind of shit is as hype as fucking any football game could ever be.
I
I
agree.
mean, there's no question that like it's a sport because it fucking is. Just
It
you
yeah.
have to practice and train to do it,
It
just like
just
any other
because
fucking sport.
exactly, it doesn't require physical
I'd actually argue
athletic
it's more of a
prowess.
sport than poker is.
Yeah,
Because
it's
poker is more RNG, than anything.
yeah. I agree entirely there. And like John was saying, it takes training, it takes practice. It's not this normal kind of training in a gym or anything like that, but it still takes, mental training and hand-eye coordination and all kinds of fun stuff like that.
Right.
Yeah,
And I
like
mean,
I went to school. I majored in psychology for. I learned it to learn poker better. That's the honest reason I took it. And like I used to go when we play like a whole bunch of my friends. We'd travel and go all over the place. Like if you guys have ever seen the movie Rounders, it was something like that. Except we weren't conning people. Like we were like legit playing and stuff like that. And we were doing great. We were making great money and stuff off of it, just learning to read people. But that is not a sport. I enjoy poker. I still to this day love playing poker and am really good at it, but never in a million years do I consider that a sport. I consider like Heroes of the Dorm, that competition, that is a sport to me. That is actual practice skill. Poker is, can you bluff? Like, is bluffing a skill? Maybe to a degree, but it's just lying really well.
Lying really well and knowing probabilities, odds, and stuff like that.
Yeah. I mean, that
yeah,
doesn't seem very
it's
sportsy to me.
It takes
and
practice.
It does, but not to the degree of. I mean, somebody could just have a really good stone face or a poker face like Lady Gaga, but you know,
I don't.
I, I mean, the other thing is like, does it matter in the end that like we call it a sport, we don't call it a sport because like it's becoming more popular than actual sports. You know,
For a lot of the
like
younger generation, yes, it is.
there's like the Dota championships had like 20 something million people watching it.
mm-hmm.
Like that's more than any sporting event, most sporting events that go on.
Yeah,
Maybe not the Super Bowl, but
Super Bowl, World Series, and championship events are things that are gonna
like
garner.
pulling that kind of view.
Yeah,
But like it's also, I mean, the other thing about esports is it's cheaper to run. I mean, it's much cheaper to do. I mean, you don't need much. You just need a goddamn computer with an internet connection, and boom, you can you can stream esports stuff. It's really simple. Like, and the ad revenue is a lot easier to acquire because it's all online already, and it doesn't take as much production to do
mm-hmm.
like that, like the it's a regular sports game, and frankly, like there's, I mean, I think it's just the accessibility alone is what makes it much more profitable because you don't have to have a cable subscription. You don't need really. You just need the internet. You don't even need. You just need a phone. you know, and you can participate. You can be active in chat too, which is like not something you can really do traditionally in sports. Like you can talk to people who aren't there
Mm-hmm.
and like fucking scream and yell on Twitch chat because Twitch chat is the best place ever. Not this chat though. This chat's amazing. Sorry, it's got to pander a little bit. Chat. Sorry.
I mean,
he
I've
knows the
participated in
audience.
Hearthstone tournaments before and broadcast them on Twitch and had them like restream me and stuff like that. And they're a lot of fun. And to be honest, I'd rather watch a match of Hearthstone than a basketball game. But that's just, I guess, my preference too when it comes down to
Right.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I would rather watch Hearthstone or Heroes of the Storm or Dota, League, anything like that. Anything that's interesting like that, game wise, I would rather watch over most sports. So,
Yeah. I mean, that's just where our
but
interests
it's
lie.
preference. Preference, yeah.
I see
Yeah.
Savannah in chat saying that she yells at her TV during football season.
So do I.
That is the one thing I don't get when it comes, be it esports, be it real sports, be it anything. I can't find myself yelling at the TV. It's like, okay, I get it. Like, you're, you want to root for your team, you're supportive for your team. But when it's more of the people that their days are literally ruined over the performance of this player, if this is a big if there's no money on the game, which most people don't, I can understand it if you bet like your life savings on a team, then I get it. Then
Right.
you have every reason to be upset. But for the people that just watch be it esports, because we have, it was actually a former host of ours, Kiggles. He, watching the League of Legends,
Oh, he
you
gets
know,
into it.
he starts screaming at, like, us on Mumble.
Because of how
And
some
we're not
team
even
or play-
watching it.
Right, we're not watching it. We don't even care. And he's screaming about how some player for, Dignitas or TSM or something like that. I don't know what team he likes. He's screaming how he's a royal fuck up and should be shot.
You dropped the jungle.
I don't get it. I don't.
I know, I don't get it. I
I
mean,
totally get being excited and stuff for your team, and yeah, but like my mother, she's one of those people that like claps at the end of American Idol performance. And
Right.
It's like, I don't get that. They
No,
can't
yeah.
hear you. Stop it.
I mean, as sports go, my uncle's the yeller. My dad he says, hurtful things when someone screws up. And my mom's the I can't watch, gets up and walks out of the room and is yelling in, "What happened?" Like, get back in here and watch. No!
She can't handle the hype.
She can't handle it. She cannot handle it live.
I mean, I usually watch those kind of like esports. I just watch it with my jaw unhinged because I'm watching people click like 300 times in a minute and just like,
Right.
yeah, I can play StarCraft one day.
Right, and here's the thing. I can
If I
easily
clone myself 30 times,
I can easily
Yeah.
click 300 times in a minute. No problem whatsoever.
Productive clicks.
Productive, accurate, and multi-locational clicks? Yeah, we're asking a
No.
lot.
Like,
but so the thing with the whole
I mean, and
esports-
same thing like when I watch a football game.
What was that, Joe?
Well, I was going to say, when I watch a football game, I yell at the TV, but that's because other people in the room are yelling at the TV.
Mhm.
So I kind of want to just make fun of everything. what
I
I
can
do.
see it for a comedic purpose.
Yeah,
Like that I get,
like
but
shouting about Katy Perry's sharks was
yeah,
fun.
left shark. But yeah, no, but when it comes down to it, yes, this alienated one of their big viewerships, but it's also a huge step in a brand new direction.
Mm.
It's like when Zayn left One Direction. It's a step in
Wow.
a brand new direction, and but no, yes, it's not perfect. It was not perfect the first time through, but it's a learning experience on everybody's end, on ESPN's end, on Blizzard's end, on sportscasters' end, on the viewers' end. It's just all around. It's a big learning experience, and that's all that they could do from it is they need to learn. And next time maybe it will be simulcast, and it's. We'll see.
I hope it will be.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's going to be great.
But as far as, I think it'll be great too. And whatever, it's popular, it's a competition. People will, in some cases, pay to watch it. So, you know what? We need to reclassify the definition of a sport. Athletic sports, esports,
Well,
other skill-containing sports.
I mean, I think, like John mentioned, I think the big thing is the visa.
Mhm.
And maybe it should no longer be an athletic visa. Maybe it should be a competition
A
visa.
competitive visa.
Yeah.
Maybe rework that. I don't think you need to rework the definition of a sport and rework the definition of athlete. I think you just need to allow visas for things like this.
Change the laws around. Yeah, that works.
But
Or even make a
you
new
also
one.
run the risk of bringing people in for hot dog eating contests, and do we need to start importing people for that? I don't think so.
People import themselves for that.
Yeah, so
You've seen the Japanese guy who can eat 30 hot dogs in a minute.
yeah, so I think there just needs to be some work with the definition and the linguistics and the everything to do with it.
Yeah. Kudos to them. I eat 2 hot dogs. I want to die. Moving on, though.
I could
It's
eat
made
6.
of friggin' horse meat.
That's about
dude.
it.
Horse is supposedly very tasty. Moving on. World of Warcraft. So Children's Week is live. It's the yearly lovely event where you go take a lovely orphan from your capital city and show him the world while trying to not get him killed.
Show you the world.
Can
This
I ask
is-
a question?
Go for it.
Is it still that derpy, mashed-in face kid model?
Probably.
Mhm.
Oh,
I
thank
think
God.
it still is.
It sure is.
And I mean, this is the equivalent of going to some war or poverty-stricken land, taking an orphan from, let's say, Darfur or something like that, and then bringing him into the middle of a live fire range.
He he looks like he got thrown into a sack and beaten against the ceiling fans. But
Oh my
Yeah,
god.
it's pretty
why the
pretty terrible.
fuck?
I mean, you're bringing the
What
kid
happened to
you
him?
bring him
I
to
mean-
battlegrounds, you bring him to dangerous locations. Like,
I
what
mean,
the hell?
there's at least one good thing that they fixed with Children's Week, but they fixed this a long time ago. Do you guys remember when Children's Week in Wrath of the Lich King came out? Like, they had the rope
Yeah.
leashes and they actually worked on the orphans? That was horrible. That was horrible. And that was
Yeah.
fixed really quickly. That was like within a day of the thing coming out. So,
Oh yeah.
you know, because that was the first time we had those pet leashes and stuff like that.
Let's just
So,
drag a kid around on a leash and force him to watch us kill each other.
yeah, the battleground one is just cruel. It really is.
I agree. What if the kid
But-
catches a stray fireball?
Yeah, I mean there really wasn't too much new stuff this year. There was like a balloon toy that you'd
Green
buy
balloon.
off of a vendor in Orgrimmar for 10 silver, you know,
Mhm.
but and then I think the quest bags, like you can, if you have all the pets already, you can opt to get a bag, and the bag has a chance to get a flawless battlestone to upgrade to a rare, but it's not a guarantee.
Right.
So I'm not even gonna waste my time.
Right. That was just a little thing worth mentioning. New PTR build was released. Some things pulled out of that are 3 new heirloom rings that you get through naval missions, which
Cool.
sounds fun.
Yeah, I mean, because the only heirloom rings that are in the game right now are from the fishing tournament.
Right, the Dread Pirate ring, and I forget the other one.
So just another way to get some heirloom rings without being forced to do a tournament that only
Happens
shows
once a
up
week.
between a specific time on Saturdays. So,
Right, exactly. Not everybody can make it that time on Saturdays.
yeah, some people at work.
Right. And now there are new weekly events for instance content that will last for a few days. The Time Walker event, for example, level 81 plus can enter old dungeons for current eye level loot, which is pretty nice. Then there's the Pet Battle event where you will earn extra pet experience. The Draenor Dungeon event, earn reputation from heroic and mythic dungeons.
Do we know what reputation that is? That's the
No.
part that has me intrigued, because I did see that.
Either there's a new rep going in or it's going to be a choose your rep thing, because I remember on your reputation page you can you
Yeah,
can
for the
choose
Pandaria stuff.
for the Pandaria stuff you could choose to get bonus rep from dungeons for certain reps, and maybe something similar to that, choose your rep.
Yeah, I'm hoping that's what it is. But a new faction would not be, out of the question. I wouldn't mind a new faction, but I'd prefer it to be the old factions, just to give an alternative way to level some of those harder to do ones. Like I just got exalted with the Arakoa today, and I haven't actually done much with the Arakoa, so
Right.
it's my garrison missions.
I am not even close to exalted with them.
Yeah.
Let's see. Apexis bonus event, you will gain double Apexis crystals from enemies. The Battleground event, you get extra honor in Battlegrounds. And the Skirmish Arena event, you gain extra honor in skirmishes and arenas.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it says, data mined class trinkets now work like tier tokens. I believe that means in the way that they will be tied to 3 classes on an item, and you just use it and it creates your trinket for you.
Be interesting.
I think that would be interesting.
I would prefer the class trinkets to work like the old ZG. You guys remember the ZG sets?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Like the ZG, the trinket was actually part of the set.
Right. Yeah, have the trinket or... I mean, sets were more malleable back then. I mean, look at the AQ sets. It was a weapon, a cloak, and what else was actually part of the set? It was a non-traditional set item.
Oh,
they-
Cloak and
20
Ring,
set,
wasn't
yeah.
it?
Yeah, it was a ring, cloak, and a weapon?
Yeah, I think so.
I think because it didn't conflict with
Right.
any your other tier,
Mm-hmm.
whatever. I guess you were in tier 2 at that point.
I
So
liked that. That's something
Yeah.
cool they could bring back, but
I would
doubt
like
they
to
will.
see additional set paths to go off of, because as it stands right now, we haven't had anything over a 5-piece set in a while. And
Right.
that's getting a little stale. I understand why, because you want to have some options with some other gear, and we had a 9-piece, set back in
Nax.
vanilla Nax, with only 8-piece bonus, but that stuff was amazing.
Right.
And
I can understand why. I mean, having
Right.
8 pieces, but only maxing the bonus at like 5 or 6 pieces is okay, because then it gives you options.
right.
And I mean, that's kind of what they do now. 5 pieces, but only a 4 set bonus.
Right.
Yeah.
I'd just like to see multiple sets. Like, just give us like a set with, I don't know, the trinket ring. Like, make some more sets. Like, pairs of rings would be cool. Just give 2 rings with a set bonus. That would be amazing.
They haven't done that in a very long time.
They've done it before, though. I know
They
that.
have, but it's for like dungeon level content.
Yeah,
Stuff
yeah.
while you're leveling.
Anything raid wise.
Yeah, and I mean, there was a neck ring set. There was a 2 ring set.
I mean, ZG I think had a ring set. The original ZG.
Yeah.
And then, I mean, the Warglaves of Azeroth, they were a 2 weapon set.
Yeah, and they had a weapon set in ZG as well.
Right.
The Twin Blades of Hikari.
So
Yeah.
something like that, again, they could do.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. But yeah, that would be fun. There was another new short story released. It is called Apocrypha. It is Arakoa focused. It centers on the adventures of Iskar and what's her name? High Sage Virix, the last boss of there's a flashback to the last boss of Skyreach before.
Yeah, it was
she
like the
was
whole
last boss of Skyreach.
yeah, it's the whole story of like how Skyreach started and stuff like that. So it's definitely worth a read.
It's worth a read.
I enjoy when they do little things like this.
Because it's giving you some background, because apparently Iskar is going to be a boss or an antagonist in Hellfire Citadel.
Mm-hmm.
And it's kind of showing you how a good guy went down the path of evil.
Yeah.
Kind of.
I like when they give us little extra lore stuff like this. I mean, yeah, it takes time and but it's one of the methods of getting story to us that probably takes the least developmental time.
Right.
Like
read.
even graphic novels, the comics and stuff that they've released, the YouTube videos, which is my preferred method, even though they're kind of still shot picture animation things, they still take more time than it just would be to write the story out. So
Right, exactly. One of my favorite was the ones they released pre-Warlords. The story of, I forget the name of it. It was when Garrosh first came to Draenor with Kairaz. That was a great read.
it was.
Really good read.
I mean, the whole Lich King stories when they were pumping those out too were great.
Yes, I agree. So, more news here. 6.2 PTR. There was some Hellfire Citadel testing. We got Gorefiend and Kilrog Deadeye, and there were Fat Boss videos for both. Now, let me tell you, these are some interesting fights.
I'm looking so forward to Gorefiend. It is not even funny.
And this is why he's looking forward to Gorefiend. Now,
Because I die.
you got this really big, fat, mouth-stomach monster, and he's doing all kinds of crazy abilities, like linking 3 people together, and you have to get close to dispel it, just like so many other old abilities.
Well, one is rooted.
I was going to say, Monkey Wrench, one of them's rooted in place.
Yeah.
Or this crazy spiraling thing of explosions that comes out, and all kinds of other fun stuff, and some ads that you got to worry about. If you die on the fight, he eats you, or his stomach eats you. And you're not really dead. You respawn in his stomach, and you have 40 seconds to fight off a bunch of ads. If you go over 40 seconds, you're digested and die for real. If you click on the pillar in the middle, you get sucked out and live to fight again. But you have a 3-minute debuff that doesn't, let you get eaten again. So if you die with that
within those
debuff,
3 minutes,
you
you're
actually
dead.
die.
If you die with the debuff, you die for real.
So, and then there's a debuff he puts on people that'll just kill them to suck them into his stomach automatically, and it's a really odd but great fight.
Do you come out of the front or the back when he spits you back out?
The front, out of the hole in his chest.
You come out as like a wisp of energy and then poop down.
Pooped down?
Poof. I wanted to say poof, but I said poop
Oh,
because of him.
well, yeah.
It was making me think of the other end.
No.
Brown hole.
I mean, the whole going inside kind of thing, it reminds me very much of Cthulhu from AQ40.
Yes.
And
Yeah, I was going to say.
hands down, still my favorite fight in the game. So any remembrance of that, but at the same time, it's got like it seems a little more like Yogg Saron, where you all get pulled in, or not, or you take teleport, you portal in or whatever, and you go inside his brain and you fight different illusions. So it's kind of a cross between the two.
Right. And it's just an interesting mechanic.
Yeah.
You die, but you're not dead.
Yep.
And actually, a similar, illusion going to the person's mind is the Kilrock Deadeye fight.
Yes.
Normal
Go inside
fight.
his eye.
Right. It's an ad management fight, first off. There's tons of ads that spawn that if you let them get to a certain place, they will turn into bigger ads.
Mm-hmm.
Another one that spawns when he throws a spear at you. The person it hits will spawn a blood. And if the blood touches him, it explodes and basically kills the raid, more or less. And the thing the illusion phase, he, and I quote the Dungeon Journal here, vomits out of his eye socket. That's a phrase I never thought I would utter. He vomits out of his eye socket, causing 2 runes of fell energy to appear on the ground.
I'm bringing a bottle of Pepto-Bismol.
Right. If you stand in the runes, you will get sucked into his eye socket and see a vision of death. Or, basically what Kilrog saw, a vision of the future. And you have to... It was pretty cool watching the video. You're standing in the flaming throne of Stormwind. Fire everywhere, demons sieging you, with Khadgar being the only person left alive fighting them off. And you gain a buff for killing demons.
That would freak me out to have people inside my eyeball.
Yeah, it would kind of... Yeah.
I don't necessarily want to talk about it.
And what was the other thing on that fight that was interesting? I don't remember. Oh yeah, there's fell corruption from one of the ads, and if you get fully corrupted, you become mind controlled. So, another one of those fights.
John, I know how to defeat Kilrog's eye.
You tap it once because it has 1 fucking health.
I bring my fishing pole.
Wow.
I gotta go.
I'm sorry.
I gotta go talk to my...
That would be awful. It really would.
I gotta go talk to my therapist for like another 3 months.
John, he's gonna be here Friday. You can kick him in the shins if you
want.
want.
Yeah, you can punch me for that one.
We're gonna sit him between you and Mia when we go to see Avengers.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna be great.
Getting sucked into somebody's eyeball, that would freak me out.
So gross.
Let alone
No.
inside it or somebody inside mine.
It's not his eyeball. It's his empty eye socket.
See, there's a difference.
There's the clarification right there.
I'm assuming that's where the spell comes from, because it's...
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, it's why it's called the Eye of Kilrog, because Kilrog doesn't have an eye.
He doesn't have an eye.
So, more Warcraft-related stuff. The Warcraft movie has been delayed again. Release date has been pushed back to June 10th, 2016. I believe it was March it was originally slated for. And now it's June. So the question comes up, and we actually have Twitter questions that I've been ignoring, probably because
You son?
Because you guys are distracting me, and I'm kind of tipsy on mead here. But,
Yeah, we can tell.
We can tell, right? Here's a Twitter question we got from Christavius. The delay of Warcraft movie. Do you think the delay has anything to do with Marvel movies coming out around March?
I doubt it.
Let's back up a second. While it has never been admitted by Blizzard, it has been pretty obvious that they coincide their game releases, be it patch, expansion, or other content, with the release of other hyped betas, patches, or games.
Really?
Like when Star Wars The Old Republic launched, they had a content patch drop. When the beta for WildStar started, they had a content patch drop. It always seems to coincide within a week or two.
There's really no big surprise. There's no mystery here. There's not. I will tell you exactly why, and this is actually what Duncan Jones said. The people at Universal love the movie so much that it does not deserve the winter release. It deserves to be a summer blockbuster movie.
Basically,
that's it.
Okay.
The movie's too good to come out in December. It has to come out in the summer when all the big movies come out because it's that big of a film.
All right, I'll go with that. I like that way of spitting. We'll never be able to compete with Marvel's numbers, so let's save our face now.
That's not it. That's not. Because when do you, like, February? January, February are dead months for movies. If you put a movie really out, then nobody's going to go see it. December is not too far off. Some big movies do well on, like, The Hobbit and stuff, that came out. So I'm not to say that December is but it's on the borderline.
Yeah.
Bigger movies tend to come out in the summer.
Summer blockbuster.
Yep.
Yeah.
I don't like that phrase because it makes me associate my brain think of Michael Bay movies.
How do you know there's no explosions in this movie?
I don't know. There was a question related to the Warcraft movie, and I wanted to cover that, and then I realized it's not a Twitter question, it's our video question.
We do have a video question.
What has become a weekly ritual, the video question submitted by Jakeinator. And like clockwork, he has another one for us. And let me tell you that he has delivered yet again. So without further ado, here's this week's video question by Jakeinator.
Hello, Bell Talk. You know who it is. It's Jakeinator, and I have a question for you guys. So I recently saw on Twitter that it was announced that the Warcraft movie got pushed back even further from March 2016 to June 2016. And as far as I recall, they had already finished filming the whole acting production on set with scenes and all. So all that remains is with the computer generated effects. At first I was like, oh hell no, I want the movie and I want it now, and how dare they? But then given some thought about it, I think it's only wise that they make sure that the CGI and special effects works properly, so the movie doesn't fugue and enrage an entire massive fan base. What do you guys think? Do you want to see the movie as soon as possible like raging fanboys? Or are you fine with waiting a little while longer to achieve what we can hope to be movie perfection? Do you guys smell beef? Oh hell no.
What the hell, Jake?
Do you guys smell beef? I love the look on his face when he goes, do you guys smell beef? And then he pans up and it's just like this blank stare of like horror. Oh, it's so good.
And I'm watching, I see it moving in the background. I'm like, oh, where is he? That's just some NPC patrolling. But then he keeps getting closer, and I'm like, no NPC has that kind of weird patrol path.
No.
What the hell is going on here?
It's a renegade cow.
Well played, sir. And
Well
now
played.
my answer to that is both. I really, really want the movie now, but I appreciate that they are taking the time to give it the old spit, shine, and polish.
Well, the thing is, it doesn't need a spit, shine, and polish. It is 100% completed. All the CGI effects, it's done. The entire movie is complete. They've already had a screening. Like, it's done. It is ready to... If they wanted to release it tomorrow, they could.
They could.
But,
They just won't.
but that's not the way movie companies work. They got to time it when it's going to be best to release it, stuff like that. And like I said, it deserves to be a summer blockbuster. So they're pushing it back for that.
Okay, then.
I could wait. I'd rather wait
I can wait.
and
Me too.
watch when it's going to be at its peak. I'd rather not have it come out in a time where it's not going to do as well. This is a big movie. There's a big franchise. It needs to be done right. So take the time to release it when they think it should be released and let it work its magic. It's going to be paired up with some of the big summer blockbusters. We're going to see it it's skirted away from Avengers, this year.
Right.
But, what Marvel movies are coming out next summer? I don't remember.
Captain America 3, Thor 3, Guardians of the Galaxy 2?
Yeah, so I think it actually falls somewhere in between
Ant-Man?
all of those.
Right.
Ant-Man's this year.
Ant-Man's this year. So Cleo in chat is saying, no, delays after screenings mean there may be something they want to change. And I would trust her word. She actually works in the industry.
Yeah, no,
She knows what she's talking about there.
It says there may be, she says.
Right.
But that's not guaranteed. From what I'm told from somebody who actually worked on the movie, it is completed.
Yeah. All right. That's good for me. Two more
But
quick...
I can wait.
Yeah, I can wait, exactly.
Mhm.
Definitely can wait. 2 more quick Twitter questions for World of Warcraft before we move on to Hearthstone. And the first one is from Jakeinator, or the Pan-Jake Cakeinator. What the hell, Jake? Odd question, but if you could add any food to the game, what would it be? I would like to see in-game pancakes, stat food, yummy. What foods haven't they covered? I don't think there's haggis in-game yet. There's a random off-the-wall thing.
I want a bucket of KFC.
You want a bucket of fried chicken.
Mm-hmm.
It wouldn't be KFC unless they...
No, I want KFC. I want KFC to do some cross-promotional work, and in whatever KFC's Happy Meal equivalents are, it would be a code to get a bucket of KFC pet to follow you around.
How about DFT, Duratar Fried Turkey?
No.
Okay.
I would eat that.
No,
I would eat that all day.
No, I want, but the bucket of KFC, I want one of it to have like holes in the bottom and have like a real chicken, and the bucket runs around.
I want tiger flaps.
I would love tiger flaps.
Goat dust.
Goat dust. Okay.
Or better yet, do a Buffalo Wild Wings promotion.
That'd be
Teach Travis.
That would be interesting. It's very interesting. I wonder if any of the Buffalo Wild Wings had Heroes of the Dorm on their big TVs, because they do show. That would have been
interesting.
They do show all kinds of crazy sports and ESPN stuff.
You know, if I had thought about it, I would have went down there and requested it, because they'll put anything on the TV if you ask them to.
And every class in chat is coming to the rescue with, there's an Ironforge cooking daily for haggis.
Aha!
I have never done a single daily cooking quest from Ironforge.
I actually knew people that went to Buffalo Wild Wings and requested The Walking Dead to be put on, and they would get The Walking Dead, they get a speaker for their table, and they would all sit down and watch The Walking Dead. That seems a little weird to me, because the rest of the place can't hear it, you know? But
that's pretty cool that they would do that for them. I like that.
That's pretty rad.
It is.
All right. So the next Twitter question comes from our EP, Total Deletion. Current average for WoW token prices. North America about 20k gold, EU 45k, China 65k. Why the huge discrepancy?
Wow.
Supply and demand, I guess.
Gold is just, it's worth different everywhere. In every region, it's going to be worth a little bit more. The US servers, quite frankly, they've been going the longest. So the economy is probably more out of balance than some of the newer ones, because they've less time, less people, you know?
Right. And China, I mean...
Yeah, I was going to say gold farming central.
They have so much... there's probably so much gold floating around on Chinese servers.
Yeah.
Yep.
I don't know. That's the only thing. They said there was going to fluctuate based on supply, demand, supply and demand. And I'm guessing that's just showing based on player bases.
Mm-hmm. Well, and you guys are saying that there's more gold in China for all the wrong reasons. There's a lot more players in China than there are here.
Yeah,
very true.
And the way that they play the game is completely different than the way we play. They pay for their subscription by the hour. We pay by the month.
Right.
So
that is true. So things are a little wonky.
So I guess buying a month's worth of time is much more valuable than for us to buy 1 month's worth of time.
I would imagine so, yes.
Yeah, I don't know exactly how the token works over there. Like, if they buy it, does it equate to, 1 month worth of hours?
Hours, yeah.
I'm not exactly sure.
That is a very interesting question, indeed.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's most of our WoW stuff. We're going to move on to Hearthstone, which has been my favorite section the last few weeks.
Mm-hmm.
Because...
That's because I don't shut up.
Because he doesn't shut up. We're going to go with that. Anyway,
That's not just Hearthstone, though.
True.
Nope, that's just every day.
That's just every day. Here we go. You have 2 days left. This is our weekly reminder. You have 2 days left to get this
Pop-Tart.
Pop-Tart. The cupcake card back. You have to hit rank 20. My wife did, and she's proud of herself because she did it without your help, Dom.
She did, I know. Mm-hmm. I've heard.
Exactly.
No. She didn't do it without my help. She didn't do it without my guidance.
She didn't do it without your live guidance.
Correct, because I did help her. I taught her a little, because and this is a common misconception for anybody, so it's not just her. Like, if you're not familiar with card games in general, like Magic the Gathering or anything like that, if you didn't play, your instant reaction is you want everything to go to the face. Like, you want to do as much damage as you possibly can. And I get that, but that's not how you play these games. You need control, and it not only board control, you want card control. So anything that you can do to maintain both is going to get you the win.
Yep.
Correct.
Correctamundo. So that card
Gain
back.
card advantage until you fucking snowball it.
Mm-hmm.
That card back. 2 days. Go for it. So Wing 5 is coming later this week on Thursday. Wing 5 of Blackrock Mountain. We've covered the last 4 wings, and now that you've gotten your hands on it, how do you like it, guys?
This has been the best wing yet, I think,
Yes.
as far as cards we got. And challenge.
I understand that Chromagus on Heroic is a nightmare.
It's not nice.
It really. I still have not beaten it, to be completely honest. Like every other wing I kept up with it, and I actually did it the one and only day that I tried. And this wing, I only had 2 days worth of time to put into it, and I got 2 of the bosses down.
Right.
I've not gotten Chromagus or Nefarian.
I was watching you stream it, and you had, all the Brood Afflictions coming into your hand, costing 3 mana, and you had the Sorcerer's Apprentices out, and I'm watching, I'm like, oh, cool, and you're like, you get rid of a whole bunch of Brood Afflictions, you got like 5 minions on the board, and I'm just like, wow, way to go, Dom, this is fucking awesome. Then all of a sudden, Chromagus Flame Strike, and I'm like, oh, and then next turn, you're just like, nope, concede.
Done!
It's just like, oh.
I was thinking of a deck, like just using Priest and like gathering all of the healing Brood Afflictions in my hand and using Alkanai Soul Priest to like just do 10 damage to him per turn instead of him healing every turn. That could be fun. But yeah, I had no luck against it. I tried Nefarian, that was a freaking joke. Nefarian is so hard because guess what? Ragnaros only gives you 1 card. 1 for the whole fight. He doesn't help you like he does in normal mode.
Yeah. I mean, for Chromagus, I tried doing a priest deck with light wells and zombie chows and different things like that to try to like maintain control of the board and try to build up. I put the 1/7 taunt in. I put the 2/8 taunt guy in, and I'm trying everything that I can to buff these guys' health astronomically through the roof to get it. And he just has an answer for everything. He destroys everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Draven Dresden in chat says he 2-shot Heroic Chromagus. Try Priest. Ignore the brood crap.
I did. The Priest. The only card I discarded 1 time, and that was the one that makes his minions cost 3 less, because that's the part that I was getting overwhelmed with. Is if I did not return that, he'd load the board up with 5 minions. But if I did return it on turn 3, he wouldn't put another one back in my hand, and he'd stick to playing 1 to 2 minions. So, I mean, that's really the only one that I think I actually have to return. But still, even if I didn't return it, I still get overwhelmed. So, I don't know.
Yeah.
RNG just needs to be on your side is all.
I guess.
For one good game.
I mean, you could always just do the old AI glitch and just pray. Just KT and a taunt.
I couldn't even keep the taunts alive up until turn 8. That's the part.
No, I know. That was
the
problem. Everything, turn 8 is just like, nope, gone.
Yeah.
There's so much removal.
Yeah, so much removal.
He would drop like a Nixia on turn 7 somehow. I don't even know.
Because you cheat.
No, well, it's probably because he had one of the Brood Afflictions in, my hand, whatever. But like he'd do that every time, and then he would wipe out my board, or he would do it on turn 6. That's what it was. He would do it on turn 6, and then turn 7 when I have my taunts out, I had 2 taunts on the board, and KT in my hand, and then all of a sudden board wipe, and I'm like,
Yep. Anyway, on to Wing 5. The Hidden Laboratory. Ooh, spooky magic.
That's where I am.
The Hidden Laboratory, that's where he is. It's also known,
where he is.
if you played World of Warcraft, it's called Blackwing Descent. It is one of the...
Why are there all these dragons up here?
It's the Hidden Lab.
Oh.
So, it was a fun little instance that was released with Cataclysm, one of the 3 raids released with that expansion. And it's got some fun encounters coming up. So, first boss is the Omnitron Defense Council. Or Defense System. Sorry. I call it the Omnometron.
Omnomnomicron.
Its ability, or their ability, is Activate. Hero power. Activate a random Tron. And this will give you one of the 4 aforementioned Omnometrons. Arcanatron, who is a 2/2 with the effect of both players have spell damage +2. Little good, little bad.
I mean,
I'm
so
okay with
far I'm thinking Burst Mage, Face Spell Mage.
Indeed.
Yeah.
So far.
Omnom 2 is Toxitron, who's a 4/4 that at the start of your turn deal 1 damage to all other minions.
That sounds terrible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a 4/4.
Mm-hmm.
Ugh.
1. If you return it back to his hand, it costs 1 mana. So
Yes.
sapping it is not a good idea.
Nope.
No.
Because it's coming right back. Anyway, I mean, sapping it would get rid of the effect for 1 turn.
Yeah,
That's
there's
it.
that.
The next one is Electron. This is a 6/6. All spells cost 3 mana less.
Still liking that mage idea.
So play mage.
Play mage. And the fourth
I'll
one
take a 7
is
mana Pyroblast.
yeah, Magmatron. This is an 8/8. Whenever a player plays a card, Magmatron deals 2 damage to them.
It's fine by me. I'm assuming just based on their mana cost that they come out in that progressive order.
I would assume,
Probably.
probably not on Heroic, you'll probably get Magmatron turn 1 to deal with. Dom's face, I love
I
it.
think they're just more powerful on heroic.
They probably are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And beyond is where I found these. I don't even know if these are the normal or heroic versions, so there is that. I looked, and these are the only versions I could find, so I'm led to assume right now that they're the same on both. Maybe the hero power costs nothing on heroic.
That is a huge possibility.
Anyway, when you defeat Omnitron, you will be rewarded with the Volcanic Drake. This is a 6 mana, 6/4, but it costs 1 less for each minion that died this turn. Doesn't matter whose minions.
It's going to be a great card.
Yeah.
It really is. It does not seem like it, but it'll be good for like a mage that's holding Flame Strike and just wipes out a player's board and can drop that for 0 mana.
Bat.
You know, so it's a turn 7 combo.
Yeah.
Many other situations to arise from
It'll
that.
be good for paladins too, because they have lots of little tiny dudes who they will want to run into the face of other things. And
Yeah.
honestly, I think you'll get great value out of this, even if you drop the cost by 2. It's
Right.
still, 4 mana 6/4 is still really, really good.
Didn't we
You
talk?
don't really want to play it for 6, but
Right. I was about to say, and now this is confirmed in chat. Weren't we talking about paladins being the best for the dragon decks coming up? And
I did say that.
an evil death clock in chat saying paladin dragon decks.
Mm-hmm.
Paladin, Dragon, Dex,
And
Sun.
this card is just going to fit right on in there, nice and snug.
It is. I mean, we've already
Yeah.
seen it do some pretty serious damage in the AI fights so
Just the
far.
AI.
Yeah.
Because they like to wipe your board. It's like, oh, there are 2 volcanic drakes. Here you go.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I just wiped your board. I'm going to play both of these for a combined total of 2 mana.
It's just so mean.
Enjoy 12 damage next turn.
It's vicious. That's
Yeah.
what it is.
It is pretty vicious.
I mean,
I like
its health is its downfall, obviously, because it's going to trade with like a Paladin Shredder and most other like 4 drops. So there's that. But that's why you kind of want to play it for 4, because it's better than 4 drops.
Can you imagine putting this in a rogue mill deck? Right? On face value, that seems terrible. But to the point where if the opponent's board is full, and their hand is full of cards, and you vanish, it destroys all those minions. Because they can't go
Yeah.
into your hand. It literally destroys them, and I know the reason it destroys them is because if Sludge Belcher is down, and it gets vanished, and it doesn't fit in its hand, the 1/2 taunt pops out of it, so it is destroyed.
Yeah.
So,
Hilarity will ensue.
Hilarity.
Yeah, you're
wins.
going to see this big ugly bastard. So have fun.
Get used to
everyone.
it. Be prepared. Next boss is Maloriak. He's a mad scientist.
hated this guy.
Oh, I hated this fight, especially on heroic.
I like his mechanic though.
Like, on normal, it was like, oh, I'm just going to throw a fire potion in, and now I'm going to breathe fire. I'm going to throw an ice potion in. And then on heroic, it's like Nefarian appears, like, yeah, I'm just going to throw this dark magic in there.
Yeah, and
Fuck your whole
I think what it really
shit
is
over.
is the achievement for him is the one that got me in WoW. Like, we got to kill a bunch of ads within a certain period of time, and if the ads come out, he's already like buffed through the teeth.
Because the ads, they have a buff that increases the damage they do and reduces the damage they take. And it stacks based on how many ads are there. So I think once you get to 8 ads, they're all invincible. That's fun. Anyway, his ability is the Alchemist, and this is a passive ability. Minions' attack and health are swapped. Your minions, aka his minions, have +2/+2.
That's the heroic version.
Yes.
The normal version doesn't have the +2/+2 thing.
Right.
Yeah.
So health and mana, health and attack swapped. On normal, okay. And on heroic, we're just going to buff all that.
Yeah, it's just heroic I don't want to talk about. But normal mode sounds fun. Because there's lots of minions that I want to have their butt in the front.
Mm-hmm.
If you know what I mean.
I'm just thinking of odd cards that I don't often see. Like, he'll play a Core Hound, and it would be a 7/11 instead of a 9/5.
Yes. I don't like that.
I don't like that either.
I don't like that at all. I don't want to talk about that.
Okay, well, we're going to talk about the reward.
Yeah, let's do that.
You're going to get
This guy.
This 5-mana card, the Blackwing Corruptor. It is a 5/4. Battle Cry. If you're holding a dragon, deal 3 damage.
It's a good card.
He's a small fire elemental.
Solid card. Fits in
Kind of.
nicely in dragon decks.
You can even think of him like a Nightblade.
You notice a lot of
the
these
Nightblade Assassin or whatever it is.
Yeah, you notice a lot of these new dragon cards though. They all have 4 health, so
Yes.
I feel like Mage is going to be a great counter to a lot of these dragon decks.
Flame Strike ahoy.
Flame Strike with the Flame Walkers.
Yeah.
I'll forget it.
You know,
Silliness.
So much
because
silliness.
Flame Walkers deal what is it 2 or 3 damage? I think it's 2.
2.
Based on every spell you cast. So you
Yes.
do like a Flame Strike. Even the one that's what is it? It's a 3/5 if you're holding a dragon. The tech, Dragonwing tech or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the black
technician.
Yeah.
Yeah, it turns into a 3/5. So yeah, you would wipe the board and it would be at 1 health. And if you had Firewalkers out, at least one of them, you're probably gonna hit it. So
Probably gonna hit it.
yeah.
All
Yeah,
right.
I mean it's just that 4 health is not great for a 5-drop. So
Right.
it's not gonna trade the best, so that's really like the biggest downfall. But like that battle cry is really, really good because like it's not as good as a fire elemental, obviously, but still like it's 3 damage anywhere.
I'll take it.
Why not?
3 free damage.
It's hard for certain classes to hit for 3 damage. Like paladins have a hard time hitting for 3 damage. They can do like 2 damage, they can do 4 damage with their True Silver Champion, but 3 damage is hard for them. Like same thing with, priests have a hard time with 3 damage. A lot of the time, it's like either smite or the shadow words. So certain classes are going to kind of like the 3 damage because it's just a nice number to remove things with.
Right.
All right.
What is the what's that card? I think it's 5-mana card. It's a 4/2 that can deal 2 damage.
It's 5 mana?
The Dark Iron Skulker?
No, it's not a new card.
Not a new card. 5. Oh, the Stormpike Commander.
Wow,
Yes.
holy crap, I actually knew that card.
I nailed it.
I don't know any
Yeah.
of them
so
by their
happy.
names. Like, I feel awful. Like, I know everything by the picture. Like, just looking at the picture of a card, I know what its effect is.
I
I
had
don't
a-
need to know anymore.
That's a 4/2? I
I
thought
had
it
a
had
picture
more
in
than
my
that.
head.
No,
No,
it's
he's
a
really
4/2.
crappy.
Yeah.
Stats are garbage.
Yeah, so, I mean, for the same amount of mana, you're getting 1 extra Battlecry damage and 2 extra health.
And the condition that you have a dragon in your hand.
Right.
So,
But if
Right.
if you're building it around a dragon deck,
You're
you're
gonna have
gonna have a
dragons.
dragon in your hand.
You're gonna have
so.
a dragon floating around.
right, exactly. All right, so that's Maloriak's reward. Next boss is Atramedes, who is a dragon
Blind dragon.
a blind dragon. He was a whelp experimented on by Maloriak, the aforementioned, and he went blind. Yeah, his ability is called
Good for him.
Echolocation. Hero power: equip a weapon that grows as your opponent plays cards.
Hope you have Harrison Jones, everybody, and acidic swamp oozes.
Oh, that's gonna be fun.
I do have
However,
Harrison.
There you go.
So that legendary I do have.
He does give you a card that's like a gong.
Mm-hmm.
In this, like, you get a gong card that destroys weapons in this fight as well. So you can assume on heroic that you probably won't get those because Blizzard hates you. And
They do hate it.
his weapon's pretty powerful because, like, it's I think it starts with six uses. I don't know what the word is for that, but
Charges.
if you Harrison Jones that, it's just like, here, have 6 cards.
You're
Thank
probably going to want a lot of low cost abilities and minions and stuff in your deck, and Harrison. So then when this thing gets out with 6 charges and you drop Harrison and you get 6 cards in your hand, you'll be in the money.
Yeah,
exactly.
It'll be fine.
The term is durability. That was it.
Durability. Thank you.
It just came to me. Anyway, when you do defeat him, you will get this lovely 6-mana card, the Draconid Crusher. It's a 6-drop,
Cutie.
but it's a 6-drop with 6 health and 6 attack. But its lovely battle cry: if your opponent has 15 or less health, gain +3/+3.
I have nightmares of this card already because of Chromagus.
I don't. Yeah, dude. He's just such a douchebag with this card.
Well, yay, you're less than 15 health, and he's just going to be like, here, have a 9/9 to deal with on top of all the other
But
shit
he'll
I've
play
been
2
slinging.
of them at once.
Or I've had
and it
3 at
hurts.
once.
Oh, God, you poor thing.
I've had 3
I'm
at
so
once,
sorry.
and I had Big Game Hunter, Shadow Word Death, but I didn't have another way to get rid of. So I was just like,
Yeah, like,
"Are you kidding me right now?" You know?
That's Blizzard's way of saying, oh, Dom, you're hurting? Here, have 27 damage to deal with. You don't even have 27 health anymore.
Fucker.
I mean, I was able to get rid of the 3rd one, but that got rid of all my other minions that were on the board. So it
Yeah.
was.
This card
Hate that
sounds
card.
like this is like, how do you put it? This is like the snowball enhancer. If you're already doing well, it's like, hey, have this on top of it.
Yeah, and if you're not already doing well, it's not awful,
No, it's not awful.
but it's not good either.
No,
So.
a 6/6 for 6 isn't bad, but
Yeah.
it's my only issue with it is it's going to replace Thaurissan, Sylvanas, or is there going to be room for this card in decks?
I could see it
Like-
more being in the
like-
Paladin deck, especially because you drop the consort and you get, what was it, 2 or 3 less health or cost on your next dragon.
2.
2, so
So he's down to 4.
4
Which is
mana for a 6/6. That's worth
good.
it.
4 mana
Yeah.
for a 6/6, potentially a 9/9.
I feel like he might be even good at any deck that's running what's Alexstrasza, because Alexstrasza drops you to 15 health. So
Yeah.
like any deck that runs her, like warriors, freeze mages, that wouldn't be bad either to have as an extra finisher.
I mean, this is
Sometimes
actually
warriors-
really this is a good countercard to Handlock as well.
Yes,
Because Handlock plays around
Absolutely.
summoning the 8/8s, the Molten Giants, and the all the this would be a 9/9. It's that it has enough to trade potentially twice. So,
I like it.
Yeah.
So another
giant stomp.
too many great cards coming out of here. I feel like they're trying to make up for the chaos they threw in with Goblins versus Gnomes. It's like, oh, we're sorry, we really, really fucked everything up with the RNG. Here's some semblance of control back. That's my wish for
I
things.
think that's what they're doing. They're trying to swing the pendulum back to control decks a little bit more.
Well, that works. Anyway, final boss of the wing and of the mountain is Nefarian, as in the resurrected, brought back to life version. He's
yeah,
a fun
if
one.
the first time
And
wasn't
also-
bad enough.
Yeah, as if the first time wasn't bad enough. At least he doesn't bring Onyxia back with him, like
Or
he did
does
in
he?
WoW.
Or does he?
No, he does.
Oh, hello.
No, he
Great.
does.
I didn't know
She's
that.
got 15 health.
Great, I didn't know that because
Yeah.
the website I got these cards from was apparently slacking. Anyway,
I mean, we don't know, but there are stats for Onyxia in the data, so
we can
probably,
assume.
yeah.
All right, so
So
Nefarian.
can I just say...
His ability, and this listed is the heroic version, by the way. 2 mana, hero power, summon 2 4/2 bone constructs. On normal mode, they are 2/1 bone constructs.
Thank God.
So he's gonna flood you with some minions.
Yeah. What? They're 4/4 on heroic. You said.
No, 4/2 on
Or
heroic.
twos.
So I'm already thinking just face hunter.
Okay.
Yep.
You get a secret keeper,
Unleash the hounds.
not secret keeper, mad scientist. You get mad scientist out on turn 2, or you get just an explosive trap out on turn 2, and you're pretty much good. Because if his hero power is any on heroic, if it's anything like the other boss on heroic, he'll use the hero power first before he attacks.
Yeah.
So it should
The
wipe
AI
out the board.
The AI always summons minions before they attack, and I don't know why, but
Hmm.
they always fall for the explosive trap. So-
Alrighty. Anyway, should you manage to defeat this lovely, lovely bastard, you're going to receive the reward of the Dragonkin Sorcerer. This is a 4 mana 3/5. Whenever you target this minion with a spell, gain +1/+1.
Paladin.
And that's any spell,
Mm-hmm.
be it buff or damage.
Yes. Yes. So
I love the wording because it's not 100% accurate. Because this is whenever you target it with a spell. Doesn't say you have to cast the spell. You know, but you do in fact have
you
to
just
cast the spell.
mouse over it.
Yeah, just mouse over it.
That'd
just
be
target
funny.
it. Just keep targeting. That would be broken. But yeah, no. This would be great. Paladin, priest, anything like
Yeah.
that.
Anything with buffs, because it's just, it's some gravy on top of your buff.
Yeah.
And the hilarity when your enemy tries to frostbolt it, they just make it more powerful.
Yeah, they're like, oh yeah, we'll get it down to a 3/2, and nope, it's now a 4/6,
Shit.
or it would be a 4/3 actually.
It's like,
yeah.
great, now it's going to trade even better.
It's really interesting. I mean, it's competing with Violet Teacher for like the 3/5 for 4, I guess. So I guess the debate is: do I want a 1/1 minion, or do I want +1/+1 on my dude?
Now just picture this guy going in with a spare parts themed deck.
Yes, a spare
Oh.
parts deck.
Oh, that would be
so good. Make it
Bitching on
happen.
this guy.
You cast stealth
Yes.
on it. You cast taunt on it.
And
You could even freeze your own
Armor
minion if you
plating.
really felt the need to.
And you're just
Screw it.
climbing. Yeah, that's beautiful. I like that.
It would. Yeah, anything with spare parts are going to be awesome with this guy.
That's amazing.
But
All right.
he's cool. I like him,
So,
and the artwork is.
Yeah, the artwork's great. I like it.
It is.
Upon
And
the
I
end,
like the fact that a lot of the artwork now is starting to drift away from just recycling a lot of the old TCG cards.
right.
A lot of the cards
Yeah.
that are in the base game are literally just cards that carried over from the TCG. Like, take the Yeti, for example, like the original Yeti. If you look at the Yeti, he's got like this reddish glow on him. And like looking at the card, it's like, why does he have a reddish glow? The card actually in the TCG was another card that had nothing to do with the Yeti creature. It's about a sorcerer that's over on the Yeti's left who's casting this ridiculous spell, and the Yeti just happens to be like in the foreground. So
Oh my god.
so like if you go back and look through like the TCG to see a lot of the artwork, you could see what more of these cards look like, and it's actually kind of cool. So
That's awesome.
That is pretty awesome. So, when you defeat Nefarian and clear this wing, you're rewarded with the final legendary card of this expansion, and that is, well, this adventure. There's Nefarian himself.
Mm-hmm.
He's a 9 mana 8/8. And Battlecry, I like this. Add 2 random spells to your hand from your opponent's class.
It's basically his hero power from the regular Nefarian encounter.
Mm-hmm.
It is, yeah.
My favorite thing, I got really close to beating Nefarian one time in Heroic. I was like a turn away from beating him. And I was playing a rogue gang up deck with Deathwing in it.
Right.
And I was using Deathwing for the insane board clears, and then I would Shadow Step him back into my hand like the next turn if he filled the board up again. You know, and I would just clear it again, and that worked so well. I was literally one turn from finishing him. But my favorite part of the thing is every time you drop Deathwing into the fight, he just goes, "Daddy." it was great.
Daddy? Oh, my
Daddy.
God. Daddy, please don't hurt me.
I don't know about Mr. Nefarian here. He's a bit of an odd one for me because it's 2 of any spell.
Right.
So it's going to be fairly useless against certain classes, against probably mostly rogues, warriors, because like if you get 2 shield slams, it's like, oh,
Well, how's
good.
that? That's nice.
Look at all the armor I have. And then if
Yeah.
you're a rogue and you get like deadly poison, Tinker Sharp Sword Oil.
But there's also the chance you can get gang up. You know, you get some really good cards out of it too.
No, you could. It's just that it's not consistent. And
Right.
as a 9-drop in a deck, when you drop a 9 mana card, it needs to change the fucking board. And
Mhm.
unfortunately, he just doesn't. I think
It has the potential
He
to.
will-
Imagine Nefarian, you put him in a rogue deck, and you Shadow Step him. Now you got 4 of their class cards. You're increasing
get
your
him shots
odds.
with it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're increasing your odds. So
yeah.
I mean, now you're a rogue.
It's not
with,
that he's unusable.
you're a rogue with Flame Strike.
You're a rogue with Flame Strike. You're a rogue with Unstable Portal. You're a rogue with You're with Polymorph or
You're
Frost
a rogue
Nova or
with
Arcane Missiles.
Ice Block.
Arcane Explosion.
Or Ice Block.
I mean, you're a rogue with Blessing of Wisdom. Shit. I mean, he's going to be. I think he'll be pretty good in maybe Druid because you can ramp him out, like get him out because like dropping him on like turn 6 or 7 is pretty rad. So
I mean, it's going to be hard to play around. Like, oh yeah, like, can I put this in my deck? Because it's clearly not going to work against every matchup. But certain matchups, it's going to become a little too powerful.
versus certain classes, yeah.
Right.
I
Like,
mean, absolutely.
Even Warlocks, I can't think of a bad spell in there that you would get from a Warlock. Any of those
Sense
are really
demons.
good. Yeah, well, you'll at least get 2 1/1 worthless imps out of it. So it's not useless, and it counts as a spell. So if you're playing a rogue, you still have a combo off of it. So I mean, there's things, but
There's
yeah.
things.
The only
I
reason
mean,
I said
actually,
Druid
Sense
is-
Demons in a rogue deck, that would be good, because the spell itself, it only costs, what, 2 or 3 mana? Sense Demons? I think it's 3 mana.
cheap. Yeah, you can just burn it and.
But
just
then not
combo.
only that, but you're getting the 1/1 for 1 minions in there, which may not seem, but you save those, and now you have a 1 mana combo point card, Like, they're still worth something.
Wait, I thought Sense Demons just pulls demons out of your deck.
It does, but
in
if
your
you
hand.
don't have demons...
But if you don't
in your deck,
have.
it pulls
It'll
worthless
pull imps.
minions. Worthless imps. that
Oh,
pull.
okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha. So, I mean, the other thing with Druid is, like, Druid removal sucks. Like, you basically have Swipe and Wrath, and if you're stupid, you play Starfall. So, that's, like, one reason why it could be good in Druid is because you could potentially pull, your enemy's good removal.
Yep.
You could, if you grab a Shadow or Death, you grab a Smite, you grab a Fireball. I mean, that's why Druids, I could see getting the most benefit out of this card.
Yeah.
Then you'd be able to drop it,
It could-
pre-turn 9.
But, like, there's just some classes
Yeah,
where it's just,
potentially.
I don't see any bad card. Like, some classes, like, you put this against a Druid, yeah, you might end up with, like, Starfall, but Starfall is not the worst in the world. There's better cards in it, yes,
Starfall-
but you can use it. You
Getting
know?
Starfall for free is great. Putting it in your deck, not so much. You know,
Right.
if
But like, so there really
yeah,
aren't any bad druid cards to get. You know, like I'm looking at that. Like you get Innervate, you can still use
uh,
Innervate. You use that to combo off
yeah.
of as a rogue. Like, so there's
There is a bad one. What the fuck's it called? It's like that. It's not Savage Roar, but it's that other stupid roar ability. I forget what it's called. It's got a weird looking Yeti thing on it. It's really shitty. Every class is a bad card, guys. There's no fucking doubting it.
I mean
There's at least one. There is at least one.
There is at least
Savagery.
one.
Like fucking cool. I got
Savagery.
Shadow Form.
Is that what you're talking about, Savagery?
Savagery. Thank you. Yes.
I mean, you could get Moonfire, deal 1 damage. That's going to be
You can-
crap, you know, whatever. But I
Yeah,
mean, you could still combo things off of it, you know.
You'd still get like equality from a paladin though.
Poison
Like,
seeds would not be
you know.
ideal, you know.
no, naturalize wouldn't be terrible. You know, whatever. There's, it's not going to see like any probably like serious play because it's not consistent. But for funsies and like it's still a 9/9 or 8/8.
I mean, I can't. I'm trying
Whatever.
to think
Just
right now.
Go for it.
I can't think of one bad hunter one except maybe tracking.
It's not really any. Oh, call pet might not be great.
Call pet. Which one is that?
If you pull a beast off the top, if you top deck a beast, it costs less or something like that.
Oh yeah, but you still draw a card. It draws a card regardless.
You still draw the card, yeah. So I mean, there's some class. I mean, like shaman. If you get fucking totemic might, you're just a sad person.
Yeah.
Then you got a problem.
There's definitely classes
You
where
know.
it's bad, but there's some where I can't see a bad card. Hunter is one of them, and even Druid to a degree. I mean, yeah,
To a
like
degree.
Savagery would probably be the worst, but depending on the class you're playing, if you're playing a rogue with a buffed up weapon, Savagery would be really good.
We'll savage them.
You'll savage them.
You would savage them, yes.
Anyway, that's that for the cards from the wing. There's one card left in this adventure that we have yet to discuss, and it is the final class challenge,
Dun, dun,
the
dun.
Paladin. Without
When
further
it's a
ado,
doozy.
It's a doozy. They saved it for week 5 for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
This
they
is a
did.
5-mana spell for the Paladin called Solemn Vigil. Draw 2 cards. Cost 1 less for each minion that died this turn.
They probably shouldn't have given us that. Probably
Just
shouldn't
slightly.
have done that.
I'm a little
I
like
don't know what the fuck they were thinking.
the thing I'm more miffed about than anything is didn't we get Paladin as the last card for Nax? Wasn't that the last challenge?
God, was it?
I'm pretty sure it was.
I don't remember. It might have been. But Avenge was like kind of meh. So
Yeah.
this one, on the other hand, is rather good because if
This
you
one is
literally
worth it.
trade, if you trade your fucking, little Silverhand recruit into one thing, you just have Arcane Intellect now.
Yeah.
If you trade
Th-
3
that's-
of your little Silverhand recruits,
It is now free. Enjoy. I mean,
Yeah, no, this
it's
card's
so
great.
fucking good.
I mean,
So-
you pair this like you do Consecration and wipe out their side. This is free, you know?
Yeah, here you go. Draw some cards.
here, you consecrated.
Paladins-
Great play. Here's your reward.
Paladins had a little trouble with card draw, and now they don't.
Yeah, they're
I mean, that's
They're
the
in a good
thing.
spot.
Like, they're in a real good place right now. I feel like Shaman maybe needed a card like this a little more than Paladins. Shaman could use something better than Mana Tide Totem, I feel like, to draw cards with. But not that I'm complaining, because I main Paladin. So, I mean, by all means, just please, Blizzard, give me more of this kind of thing.
I'm actually excited to see how this, because Paladins seem to be getting a lot of love. The Paladin Dragon deck looking like it's going to be a really strong contender now that all the dragons are going to be released as of Thursday.
Yeah.
Throw this in, Solemn Vigil, and I'm kind of excited to see what's going to come out of that.
yeah.
Like,
'Cause-
what kind of crazy decks people are going to put together.
Yeah. Paladin's in a good spot right now as it is. I mean, Goblins versus Gnomes was very, because they weren't doing so great before GVG, but GVG hit, and they got Muster for Battle, Quartermasters, and they turned into a mid-range deck that just started. It's one of the most consistent decks to play.
Yeah.
See,
It's
that's my
not
thing.
like it. It doesn't have the best. It doesn't have like all of like the best, most favorable matchups, but it doesn't have a lot of unfavorable matchups either. So it's like
There's
it's a
the
good ladder deck.
there's the one turn kill combo with the Quartermasters. You know, like they have some serious some serious
Nasty.
power now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like consistency.
It's cool.
Like when I play seriously,
that's
I
the
like
biggest
a
thing.
consistent deck. When I'm playing for fun, I will RNG the shit out of it. I love cards that
Yeah.
are complete total RNG. You know, it's gonna either suck and get you killed, or you're just gonna one shot somebody. But
That's
if
why
I'm playing
Goblins
Iron
vs. Gnomes is so
Juggernaut
much
deck.
fun.
right, if I'm gonna play,
Yeah.
that's why I loved Goblins versus Gnomes, because that's my thing. But if I'm gonna play seriously and go for actually try to climb the ladder, I want something that is very consistent game to game.
Yeah, I mean,
But that's just
a lot
me. I
of
like
the
playing it
a
safe.
big discussion that's actually been going on recently within the Hearthstone community is, are the ladder rewards really worth it? You know, and it like a lot of people are feeling that the system that's in place right now, get to rank 20 and stop, is kind of outdated, and it doesn't feel very rewarding. Yeah, it's good for the casual player, but there's no incentive to keep climbing the ladder past, rank 20.
It's
Besides from EP.
absolutely true.
So
I feel like if they made like a legendary card back every season, like the same card back, but like golden and shiny,
Yeah, golden.
I think
card,
that would be
something.
like, yeah, and you only get it if you reach legend that season. Like so,
yeah, but
that'd be
I mean,
interesting.
I haven't been hardcore pushing for legendary. I've been trying here and there, and the closest I ever got was rank 2, which is pretty close. But then
Which
in
is
that
good.
same season, I got knocked back to rank 14.
Oof.
So
Yeah,
I never made the push again for it because I was so frustrated. I was pretty
it
salty.
should,
Yeah.
I would be. I would choose that flavor.
So
You would choose that flavor.
So just next time play a paladin deck and use this card because it'll get more consistent. So
Yeah.
you
My wife just walked into the room and she got the reference instantly.
very good.
So many flavors to choose from. Why'd you have to choose salty? I love that. Evil Deathclock in chat saying he wants a DK deck and he wants it now.
I would
Yeah.
love them to put Death Knights in this game.
and monks, Death Knights and monks. I think they're gonna
Well,
go one at a
yeah.
time. But now is probably about the time for them to start talking internally about the Death Knight. I do agree with their design up to this point that it was too soon.
Absolutely.
I think they really needed the time to flesh everything out, balance the classes, which this this adventure right here has done. It's really balanced everything out. I don't think there's really one class that's too overpowered at the moment.
Right. For a few months ago, all I was hearing about was, Miracle Rogues.
Mm-hmm.
And then all I'm hearing about is how Hunters are the most overpowered shit on the planet. And then someone else would say, no, Warlocks are the most overpowered shit on the planet. I haven't really heard much of that lately.
Yeah.
Everybody,
No,
everything's...
because
People are bitching about every class equally,
Yep.
which
it's.
is good.
I mean, the only class that's a little low on the totem pole is shamans. I didn't mean to do that, but I did.
Well played.
But that's not because like they're bad. It's just that people haven't figured out how to play them now.
Right.
Yeah.
They have a bunch of new cards and they have to kind of figure out how to build their decks now.
You mean
know?
I can
but-
cleanse my overload?
Yeah, I mean that alone is wonderful.
That's a mechanic change. For you.
Yeah, that was great.
And their fire guard destroyers are amazing. So
That
I
is
mean,
really
but honestly, like with Overload, you don't want to use it on a turn where you're only like missing one mana crystal because it costs 2. So you're using 2 to gain 1, and so you lost
No,
1.
that's when
some-
you're on like turn 6 and you blew like 3 overload cards.
Yeah, exactly. So
yeah,
those things around. But there
it's
was
like
actually
Lightning Storm twice. So
there was an interview with Ben Brode about just the development of like the bosses and stuff for this thing for Blackrock Mountain in general. And the interesting part to me was they said that they originally wanted to do just Molten Core, which that was a big gripe of mine at first when they first announced this. I'm like, they did Knack so well, and every boss was so accurate to its Warcraft counterpart that I was upset that we weren't getting the large portion of Molten Core. But then the more I thought about it, and after getting to play and seeing the variety and everything that we had here, I'm like, yeah, how good would Lucifron versus Shazra versus Gehennis really be? Like, we'd have the exact same character portraits because they're all orange serpent monsters.
Shaz was a different color, but yeah.
He was blue.
Yeah, they're all serpent monsters. I mean, there were 5 of them. I mean, if you exclude Major Domo, there were 4 of them. And they were all the first 3 were all some variation of a similar fight. Oh, there's a curse. There's a really damaging ability you gotta worry about. And, yeah. And there's a buff they get that's gonna fuck you up. Especially in Shaz's case.
1 spammed Arcane Explosion.
Yes, 1 spammed Arcane Explosion. 1 spammed some other crazy curse. 1 spammed Rain of Fire. The other one had a bunch of healers.
I mean, I like that it also gave them an excuse to add a lot of different cards to the game. Like, now we have more dwarves, we have more dragons, we have, really it was mostly dwarves and dragons, I guess.
Yep.
They should have made a dwarf subtype.
Yeah, I mean, like, as far as the subtypes
I would like that.
go, we have everything currently in game that was fleshed out. The last missing piece of that puzzle was dragons.
Right, we have...
There was no dragon synergy before Blackrock Mountain.
Beasts, demons, mechs, dragons. Pretty much, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm just waiting for, like, undead to be a thing.
I think they're going to wait... Because there are plenty of undead in
There are.
Right. So they're going to wait for the Death Knight class, I feel, to flesh out the undead.
Agree with that.
And then they'll make it a full-blown synergizing subtype.
Yep.
Really freaking cool.
That'll be awesome. But I'm so sad. The last 5 weeks have been so entertaining. That concludes our Blackrock Mountain talk about the shit that's going in segment.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? I have a crazy idea. Me and Dom should make some wacky Blackrock Mountain decks and pit them against each other.
Wacky.
See what happens.
Utterly wacky.
That'd be cool.
Yeah. That'd be really fun. Because I don't want this shit to end.
Yeah. I like it.
So I guess we'll have our heroic post-mortem next week.
Our heroic
see how badly we got
post-mortem.
stomped.
Yeah, I'm curious how the normals are, whatever. They'll take a couple of attempts at the most. But I'm curious as to what the heroics, have in store for you. Well, you guys, I haven't really played.
Well, we will find out for next week.
Right? Hopefully nothing as hard as Chromagus. Anyway.
I'm hoping. Because I'm actually hoping for stuff equally as hard as Chromagus. Because as frustrating as the fight is, and the RNG seems out of reach, it's not where... what was the one that he had 2 mana, you had 1, all the cards cost 1 mana? What fight was that?
It was Dracasath.
Gore?
Or Razor
Dracasath.
Dracasath. Yeah.
Razor Gore is the
fight.
Right.
That fight just seemed completely unfair and undoable. Chromagus at least gives you the illusion of, you're going to do this.
You could do this. You can do this. You got this. Hey, look, I'm at 2 health. I'm going to crush everything you ever hold dear.
Yeah, so, I mean, I'm still having fun with it, where the other one, it was just really frustrating. So.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Nefarian's just cruel.
He is cruel. He's a cruel, cruel mistress. And that's our show.
It is our show.
It is. So, John, where can they find you building wacky
You
decks?
can find me building wacky decks that somehow work on YouTube at Nahajm, NHOJM, or you can follow me on Twitter right over, there at No More. And I post fun pictures of things that I get in the mail. Have fun with that.
All right, then.
Hit the road, Jack. And don't you come back no more, no more. Even though that's not where you got that song from. You can find me down below at XIZTA with an underscore. You can also find me on Twitch at XIZTA without the underscore. And you can find me on YouTube at youtube.com/deadzista for archives of this podcast and other Hearthstone. videos and maybe some more things.
Right. You could find me on Twitter at Thilladrin, Twitch at Thilladrin. Dom, did you mention the TV stuff?
No, you could do that.
I got it. You could find the three of us on YouTube. The channel is ASO TV Podcast. We cover a whole boatload of TV shows and movies and all kinds of fun stuff like that. Just generally talk about it. We recently did Daredevil. Game of Thrones is pretty popular right now, but when isn't that popular?
Avengers.
I was just going to say that. We're going to have an Avengers show next Wednesday after Age of Ultron has been seen and thoroughly digested.
And a couple shows
correct.
coming this summer, too, such as MTV's launching a Scream movie franchise TV show that's going to be weird, and I'm going to cover it.
That's my reaction.
It's going to be very lukewarm.
The sole fact that the opening of the trailer for it, the TV show, says, "You can't do slasher films as a television show," is like their tagline. So that already has me excited because they know going into it that it's going to be complete and utter garbage. And that is why I love Scream's like internal meta, because they know that they're terrible.
I like it. Yeah, follow it at all those places. And you can find us here Tuesday nights for the next 4 weeks at least on Twitch TV/System. Thank you for watching, everybody. Long transition. Not very long tonight. I like it. Where's the button I'm looking for?
I don't know.